I saw a clip of you online. I don't even know the podcast. Forgive me. You'll tell us what it is. But I loved it so much. I wanted you to say it here and expand on it. Here it is. Watch.
Women want to they want to be taken care of. I know this is like super provocative, but like deep down, they want a man to be able to provide for them financially.
Should a man pay on the first date?
100%. Like, what kind of a wuss beta male is splitting the check? But like, who are you? It's like, I'm just sorry. It's I would go into debt and like scrub dishes before a woman paid for it.
I split the check quite a lot.
So I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. You guys are great. That's incomprehensible to me. I think that's
to me. I thought it was a great financial decision.
So from your prism, I totally get that, and like you have really good financial discipline. I'm sorry, like I would be so humiliated if I find that to be like the greatest beta male like humiliation
to save money.
To like the idea that a woman that you're trying to court. Now, if it's like a friend thing
as a first date, you don't even know if she's like the qualities.
It does not matter. I'm sorry. By the way, that money you save is not worth the honor that you compromise.
It is such a big deal.
It's a massive deal.
I love everything you said. Please explain what was happening there and who that was.
Well, so first of all, those are two great guys. I don't remember their names. Unfortunately, it's from the Iced Coffee Hour podcast, so at least I got their show right. They were really sweet. They came to Phoenix. They brought their mobile studio. They're up and coming in the podcast world, which I have a soft spot for, as I'm sure you do, Megyn. They were really great, right? And they asked this question, and he was just so terribly wrong on this. And what was so interesting, I have multiple takes on this. The first of which is that the comments I got, the video went super viral, right? It got tens of millions of views. The comments from the women were so overwhelming. Yes, thank you. We need more of this. Why don't men do this anymore? And then from the men, it's like, Charlie is wrong, like women aren't worth it. Now, let me just say, hold on. Let me just take a whole recalibration. Now, there were some men that agreed, but overwhelmingly, the women were the ones that were driving this video, which is unique because that's not always the case for Charlie Kirk videos. Usually it's the opposite, but it's good. Listen, a man needs to demonstrate leadership and the capacity to provide early on. That doesn't mean that you have to have that role when you end up having a marriage, but from the outset, what it means to be a man is to take directive, to be leadership, to have the protector of the family, and not to mention the young lady that is there. Deep down, she wants to show that when all the crap hits the fan, the man can take care of her and that he will do the alpha move and that he's not going to split the check. And there's also I didn't mention this in the video, so I'll say this here, Megyn. It filters out ingratitude. It filters out the character of the person you are courting. I was shocked. I learned this, that so many men came to me and they said, Charlie, when I pay for a lot of the first dates, the women never say thank you. I said, yet another good reason to pay on the first date, because you learn as much about her as she is learning about you. And I asked a group of women, 100 women, I said, appealing or unappealing, attractive or unattractive? The man on the first date pays the check without you even knowing and goes to the maitre d' and hands the credit card while he goes to the bathroom. They said, it's beyond a turn on. I said, for men, for men, you're talking about a way that you could advantage yourself. Now, they say, well, what if the date didn't go well? Still does not matter. What if you think that it will never go anywhere? Still does not matter. You have a role to play. And on a date, the woman is there to be courted by you. That is the way this works, right? You are the one that is hosting. You are the one that is hospitable. And I think a breakdown of that has been so destructive. But to complete the point, so many of the men that pay for it, they find out a lot about the women. So I could go endlessly about this, Megyn, but I think I learned about that this was happening, by the way, in this podcast. Afterwards, I said, are you telling me that men aren't paying for everything on the first date? They said, oh, yeah, all the time that we're splitting it. I say, no wonder why male-female relations have fallen down so much.
Right.
We need men to be men again. We need to raise our sons to be men of honor, of character and leadership, to look after the women in their lives, to say that women are not just beautiful, but they're honorable and they're sacred, and that we provide for our wives and that we honor our mothers and that we protect our sisters. That's the men that we want to raise in our country, and we've gotten away from that.
Oh, I love it. Right on. I agree with every word. Shoot it into my veins, as they say. A shout out to the podcast. It is hosted by Graham Stefan and Jack Selby.
Sorry.
They explore
very
candid
nice
conversations.
guys that were so wrong on that, but they were sweet.
Yeah, well,
sweet young
totally.
men.
And I'll tell you, I can relate to that even as a working woman who obviously can support herself. But when Doug and I met, and I was still working, I was at Fox News. I was in my infancy at Fox News. He was making a lot more money than I was, and he was running his own company. And I mean, if he had actually suggested that we split the bill or that I pay, he would have been out the window in a New York second. I mean, it wouldn't have even been a consideration. It was clear that he was taking care of me in that way. We both understood it. And then eventually in the course of our relationship, just because media is what it is, I wound up earning more than Doug just because, that's, how it is. But still, he takes care of me. Still, he's in the alpha role in our personal life. And I'm more in the beta role in our personal life, which I love. That turns me on. Like if it were something else, I don't think it would work. And I don't think people understand that. That's true, I think, universally for 99% of women, whether they're working women or not working women or women who work in the home, et cetera. They do want to be taken care of. It's biological. And they want to take care of their men in different ways too.
Yes. And also, this is very important that the man, if he is not providing or if he is not productive, then something happens to men that's really hard for us to sometimes put to words, but the statistics show it. They kind of get emasculated. They get into pornography. They gain a bunch of weight, where it is best for a man to have pressure. Men succeed under pressure. And so many young men are without pressure. And sometimes you go on a first date, you know what? You have to have the pressure to provide on that first date. So many young men are in a pressure-free environment. What does that mean? They don't have to provide for themselves. They don't have to provide for others. They don't have to show. So when all of a sudden pressure makes the man, where you have to show up at 5 a.m. for work, that you have to make enough money to pay for rent. And then, yes, you also have to provide for a family. And I could say this as a married man with 2 kids. Something happens the way God wired us once you get married with kids, where you just figure it out. And you're like, I'll take a second job. I'll work all night. I'm going to, ask the boss for a raise. I'm going to come up with a new idea, because all of a sudden you feel this biological need that I have to feed these kids. And it sometimes happens subconsciously, but it's so important. And the same thing happens, by the way, for moms, right? They are like, we got to get the house organized, right? We have to make sure it's clean. We got to make sure the meals. It's the same sort of thing, and they always can't put words to it. But for the man, it gives them purpose in their work. It gives them satisfaction. Like, okay, it was a rough day at work, but I came home and these kids are fed and they could go to school and we live in a nice neighborhood. And it gives man a sense of contentment and satisfaction that is so missing from modernity with these young men, largely because we've taken them out of this kind of purpose-filled life. And I think, again, I would say, and it's so interesting you said what you said, Megyn, that the women that are the prizes, if you split the check with them, there probably will not be a second date.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. And can I say the other thing that you're talking about that I think people need to be reminded of, and I think is important, is the man should be the pursuer in the early relationship. Yes. And frankly, I mean, Doug and I have been married, I don't know how many years now, 18 years, and he's still pursuing me. He's still not sure where it's going to land. It has to be. It's biologically conditioned.
Yes.
Men and women are for the man to be the pursuer. He's the lion and you're the gazelle. And he's like programmed to run after you. And if you upend that in any way, you're messing with nature. So that, like,
correct.
Young men should know you do need to make the phone calls. Even if she didn't call you back, you have to be the one to text first. It's like almost like a reporter going after a source. In a way, you're subjugated, but you're not actually subjugated. You're doing it because you're the leader in the relationship in this way. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually hot and appropriate and part of the game and the turn on. Yes.
And if you're a young woman, I have to say this, and you think that it's pervy or weird if a man is pursuing you, you got deep problems. I hear this a lot from men. Right. And so young ladies out there are like, oh, well, I think it's weird if he approaches me at a bar. Get over yourself. Like, that's nature. That's biological, right? Have enough self-confidence. Be like, I'm not interested. Thank you so much. right?
Correct.
Don't go out alone if you feel unsafe. And you talk about this all the time, right, Megyn? But what has happened is this hostility, and I think men are overcompensating, but men have just retreated. They're like, forget it, we're done. You don't want to talk to us. You're going to accuse us of sexual harassment. I don't think that's the right reaction, but young ladies in some ways have unintentionally created this kind of like, oh, I can't believe that guy at work came up to me and he wanted to talk to me and ask me out on a date.
And they will wind up alone. They will wind up rigid
and they wonder why they're alone. Exactly.
And for the women, I think they need to remember, yes, it's his job to sort of be the alpha and pursue you, but you should stay playful. You can be somewhat elusive, because the men like that. Hello. But also playful.
100%.
Like you have to be signaling back, I'm into you, if not always available to you. Well, that is how it works.
Yes. Men want what they cannot have, and they will keep on pursuing what they cannot have if they think there's a chance. And there's that beautiful thing where it's like, so you're telling me there's a shot. You're telling me there's a chance, right? And so again, that for the women out there, exercise class and piety properly understood. But, again, you could be playful. You could be artful with it. You don't have to be overly flirty, but you definitely can be classy in the way that you engage with it, right? Because a man will also, women will find this, a man will improve himself, his income, and his character to elevate towards a woman. And so you will find that men will do things that they will not do for anybody else in the pursuit of a woman. Mm-hmm. They'll stop drinking. They'll stop watching porn. They'll get a second job. They will not eat for a week. They'll go to the gym. It does things to the male mind, and women don't always understand that. So I say, women, hold yourself to such a high standard that the man wants to pursue you, that they have to elevate themselves towards that.
That's right. That's exactly. I couldn't agree with this more. I think you and I need to start a conservative dating service, Charlie, because you and I both know there are so many young conservatives out there who want to be connected with people but are having a difficult time and maybe don't even know how to behave or what the so-called rules are anymore. But I think we could help them. Let's give it some thought. Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they are moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. And Birch was an advertiser on this show 12 months ago. If you had purchased then, you'd be 40% richer today. Now's the time. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by burying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold so easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold is going to send you a free info kit on gold. Look into it, see if it's right for you. There's no obligation, just useful information to help you make a decision. With an A+ rating, with a Better Business Bureau, and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.